Hi, and welcome to my presentation of safe, legal, and ethical use of digital information. My name is Jenny Riggins, and I will be presenting this to you. Um, as you know, children are definitely the future's most valuable asset. We need to protect them because they will be running our country someday. Um, as elementary education major, I want to have my children protected. Okay. Um, we send our kids to school these days with the assumption that they're being protected by the teachers from all different kinds of predators. But in today's society, there's a new kind of bad guy, and it isn't just the one that's lurking around the corner with a new kitty cat or some candy trying to lure you into a car. I'm speaking about the predators that you might find on the internet. At what point do we want to let our children go off on their own and surf the internet on their own without us hovering over them? That's something that I will get into further on in this presentation. Some of the things I'm going to be talking about in this essay, or this presentation, are cyberbullying, legal use of digital information, and some of the things we can do to protect our kids. There are several great ideas about how to keep our children protected while on the internet. First issue being that you should contract with your kids for time on the internet. If you limit the time, you limit the likelihood that they will wander off into unknown websites that could possibly contain pornography. Talk with your children about your expectations. Have some rules. There are several websites listed that had contracts that you and your children could sign as far as expectations and being safe on the internet. Another was personal information privacy that I thought was important. Kids these days kind of just give out names, phone numbers, whatever they need so they can get on the website that they like. They need to be taught when to limit that and who to give it to and who to not give the information to. Also, teach them never to open emails from people that they don't recognize. And to take it one step further, just because someone is your friend online does not mean that they're your friend in real life. Children should never be allowed to meet with someone they met online, as this could be a dangerous sexual predator. So many times people will pose as young children and befriend other children only to find out that they're an adult just trying to lure a child in. A good thing to do is to have parental controls and discuss having your computer centrally located so you as parents can watch your children and watch the websites. They're less likely to go on unknown websites if there's someone sitting there watching them. While there are many important factors that you should discuss with your kids about the internet, I would say to just focus on a few of the things that are most important to you as a family. Don't overwhelm your kids with rules, but tell them, hey, it's for the safety of everyone in this house. Now, on to the next one. I guess I misplaced that one. Some of the ideas that I did just go over are to place time limits, parental controls, talk with your children, especially about privacy, never allow them to meet someone in person, and have your computer centrally located. So the next one, we're going to move on to the legal usage of the internet. First, I'm going to talk about fair usage. What is fair usage? Kind of seems that from the beginning of time that there's been issues with people violating copyright. It's definitely a touchy subject when dealing with the internet. You really do need to be very careful when using information found on the internet. Make sure you're citing all your sources. I found several websites or journals that discuss issues becoming more complex as you delve further into more information as it becomes available on the internet. Also, I found that there were some issues that arise from determining what is free and what is protected on the internet. To determine what you can and cannot use, you gotta kind of first look into what is fair usage of copyrighted materials. As found on the website, the Learning Instructional Technology website, it defines fair usage as something that we would all like a concise answer to, but it states it is a shadowy territory whose boundaries are disputed, more so now that it includes cyberspace than ever before. In a way, it's like no man's land. Enter at your own risk. Then it lists several websites you can go to for information on fair use of the internet. There were some other websites explored, and the last Prezi screen that I have on here has all my sources listed, so I've cited everything that I've used in this. This website that I found discussed copyrights and kind of gives a crash course on it. However, there's no clear definition because each situation kind of appears to be unique. It does list several different scenarios in what to do in each case. But again, you might have two similar situations. One might violate copyright and the other might not. So, got to be very careful. In this situation that you're in, it's probably best to read as much information as possible and learn as much as you can. Definitely research what you're using and how to use it. In today's world, it's becoming ever easier to access information with the internet. So the best way to avoid plagiarism is to just cite everything you use. Lucky for us as teachers, we have way more leniency in what we can and cannot use for educational purposes. It's kind of neat. There are definitely limits on how long you can use things, but in a classroom setting, you can use pages from books. You can, if you're unsure of what to get permission for, then just go ahead and get permission, especially if it's not going to be something that you don't use for educational purpose. Most of the time when it's used for educational purposes, there's some leniency, but outside of the window, it might be considered a copyright violation. On to the next screen. Okay. This one is ethical use of social technology. I was thinking mostly of, Facebook, Twitter, things that kids are using to post whatever they feel like, pictures, comments. Students today should know that there is consequences for every action. You can't just post something hurtful or illegal and not expect there to be consequences. And it especially goes for internet usage. And it's, it can go as far as becoming a legal consequence, just as you'd get into trouble for breaking and entering. There are definitely legal responsibilities for illegal acts online. One thing that I thought that was very serious is cyberbullying. Kids are so mean these days. It's very difficult to control their actions. So as a teacher, I want to arm these students with information that they can use in deciding what to post, what not to post. Like I said, we as teachers are pivotal in influencing these students developmentally. I also found several ideas on how to arm them with ethical and moral knowledge, because a lot of times these kids are not getting it from home. I used a magazine journal called Knowledge Quest that I thought was a really good journal. There were several discussions on how to help students act responsibly on the internet. Um, it limits the bashing and hatred displayed towards others. There were several discussions. Rather than pointing students into a right or wrong direction, teachers can help them develop decision-making skills that will help them make good choices with their own sense of integrity. Kids are shown that they're responsible for their own actions. A lot of the articles that I read were really good. The one from Knowledge Quest says that there's ways to brainstorm, have debates, discussions, lectures, and even as much as role playing. I thought that's wonderful because kids like to role play. Whatever you need to do to make students feel comfortable, as long as they don't feel pressured, they will be just fine. Because I have teenage kids, and it is very difficult to get them to stand up in front of, just a couple of people, let alone big groups of kids. So small group work does wonders as well. So as you know by now, there are multiple resources that have many ideas to help teach strategies to facilitate learning. So use the internet, teachers, find ideas, whatever works for you. We need to help these kids make good decisions. Okay. Now, on to the last one, cyberbullying. Like I just said, I want to help students make informed decisions. Parents, your help is absolutely essential in helping these kids make good decisions. Find a balance. The best way to do that is, like I said, use the ideas that I gave earlier on in this presentation. Have your computer centrally located. Have some rules. Have limits. Our kids are so precious, and we absolutely need to be there for them and help them see that we can make the world a better place. And it starts with you.